from that.
So the FAA put out a solicitation. I want to say September. Don't hold me to that. And originally it was
Yeah.
they've asked for regional consortiums to put together an ecosystem of partners that can basically run everything from soup to nuts for an AAM mobility mission. So you would need, airspace navigation services, deconfliction services,
Wow.
weather, communications. That means your automated data service providers, which have been basically documented in Part 146, that is part of the NPRMS, have to be all integrated, and kind of like what they did in the in Fort Worth, except they didn't want weather in there for some
Right.
reason. I haven't figured out why people don't think weather's
I didn't know
at the low
that.
altitude.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just weird. But the bottom line is this: is that we're working on that, and FAA wasn't them, by the way. So the FAA, we've been working on NTAP and stuff. So I'm not criticizing the FAA, but the bottom line is they want to bring this all together with aircraft that can fly, and within 90 days of getting the award, whichever regions get the award, they got to commence operations. And they have to use as much existing infrastructure as possible to make that happen. So it's got to be demonstratable pretty much on day one. So there's no really, we're going to do R&D and we promise we'll do this or that. Now, over the 3-year period, you're going to have time then to build and grow. But they'll pick 5 locations, or they said at least 5. And these are going to, there's no money. The FAA is not providing funds for this, or
Absolutely.
they at least are holding that position. And so a lot of it's going to be state, local governments going to have to fund, or you're going to have in kind from the consortium members. And we're going to see that, I'm sure, from the OEMs. And also, other government grants and things like that are available. That's really going to make it happen. That originally was due on December 7th. What happened
Yep.
was they started delaying it, and then they dropped the national strategy on December 17th.
And that
Now,
was why,
and so
most likely.
then they updated the criteria and said, now you have to map your solutions to the recommendations in that national strategy. And when I read recommendation 2.8, I just felt like I won the lottery, because before this,
Finally.
people were bringing us in. Like, I can't talk about it. There was 3 or 4 of these regional consortiums that saw it. They were all in with TruWeather before that national strategy dropped. I'm always going to remember them. But when the
Oh, yeah.
national strategy dropped, all of a sudden now they had a map to something that very few companies have, the whole ecosystem. We're the only one, I say. We get into debates, but I mean, we can deliver the whole ecosystem in the first 90 days. So that was a good thing for us. Number 2 was people were writing like 400-page proposals for this, and they said you have to get it down to 18 in 5 sections. And then they get you
Yes.
one section, the 6th section, you can have these letters of attestation that could go on, I guess, forever. So you can have 1 billion pages. But the whole idea was they wanted to accelerate. This is what tells me the government's very serious. They wanted to
Yeah.
accelerate picking those. So that's what
It,
that is, right? And you really got to
yeah.
have your act together as a consortium. There's not going to be a lot of time to fake it. You can't fake it till you make it in this case, right? You're
No, no,
really going to
no.
have to
Yeah.
come together.
I think you said it really well. IPPs are so different from anything that has ever happened before. And we've had some things very similar to IPPs, but the whole 90 days application for me was like, whammo, that's it. And like you just said, the shysters cannot operate in that environment because they can talk, but they can't do. So this is really when the rubber meets the the road, although that doesn't fit with what we're talking about. But you're right.
Well, it
That's
meets the
what's really
runway.
special about it.
It
It
means the
means
vertiport.
it meets the runway, and for those who have skids, well, good luck with you guys, okay? But yes, but that's very true. I think it's really, and you're right. It shows how serious the government is about, and this is, by the way, beyond the administration, right? This is the whole of the country in general. How
Yeah,
serious it is about advanced
yeah,
air mobility.
but I
So
mean, it's really important. I mean, look, it's really important for DOT to be, this authoritative about this, because it's a
yes,
mandate now that says, okay, this is important and we need to solve this. So you guys solve it. right? Which is what, we always beg for. We want to have input into it, but then
It's
of
so
course we
true.
want money with it. So that makes, that's the other, like, how serious do you guys want to solve the problem, right?